Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode. My name's Rick and my aim is to help you realise the truth that feeling great is your natural state. So today I'm going to be talking briefly about habits, and I'll probably be a little bit personal and maybe share some of my former habits with you and how, after a lot of years of trial and error and basically self-discovery and reading, study, etc., how I came to basically break the chains of my previous habits and basically liberating myself from them and, allowing me to level up my life and start living the way I wanted to live rather than by a set of subconscious programs which ultimately dictated how my life unfolded, which is basically what habits are. In a nutshell, habits are essentially programs, mental programs or neurological programs embedded deeply within your subconscious mind, which become activated whenever you become exposed to a trigger or a stimulus that triggers the program. So off the top of my head, a really common example would be somebody who's addicted to junk food, or let's say ice cream. Anytime they obviously walk past an ice cream parlour, or somebody mentions the word ice cream, or some form of trigger or something which they associate with being related to ice cream is exposed to them, then that activates the program inside their subconscious mind, which tells them, hey, I want ice cream. So may sound very obvious, but essentially that's what a habit is. And we have many habits which we're not aware of, and they activate constantly throughout the day. Up to 40% of our actions, daily actions, are based on habits. Things like walking into a dark room where you turn on the light because you want to see, so you turn the light on. It's something you always do every time. Every time you walk into a dark room. I mean, you could walk into a dark room and just sit in the darkness, but it's something you've probably never done before, really, so it hasn't been done enough to actually form a habit. So, with that being said, the question is, why are habits so hard to change? Why is it so hard to basically unlearn one or unprogram one from your mind and then replace it with what you would consider to be a good habit? I mean, personally, for me, for a long time, for many years actually, and I suppose it's not just me, it's a lot of people from my generation who grew up in the infancy of the digital age. For a long time, I had an addiction to porn, essentially, because, well, it was mind-blowing. And whenever you're a 16-year-old, you're in school, you're shy, you're the pasty little ginger kid, it's very hard, I suppose, to maybe get validation in the real world. And then whenever you discover the digital world, it's the easiest thing ever. You can basically feel as good as you want, you can see whatever you want, and it's free, it doesn't cost you anything. At the time, it seems like anyway, but obviously there are repercussions down the line, such as lack of self-worth, skin issues, health issues, basically intimacy fears, things like that. There are obviously a lot of negative symptoms to be had from overexposure to pornography. Anyway, we'll not focus too much on that now, but the point is that was one of the worst habits that I had ever developed in my life, and it took a long, long time to get over it. And ultimately what helped that addiction was the discovery of a movement called nofap, and I'll probably make a separate video on that because it's such a fantastic movement which has helped tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, possibly even millions of men and women alike across the world beat their addictions to online pornography. Anyway, that's not the focus of today's video. The main focus is, why are habits so hard to unlearn and replace with good habits? And to make it as simple as possible, I think it is essentially, from my own research and own understanding, it's hard to unprogram or hard to unlearn due to the way we tend to go about doing it. So if you look at it this way, let's say there are 3 ways to eradicate or change a habit. You can focus on the outcome, which is basically, okay, say you're addicted to online pornography. The outcome would be to no longer watch online pornography. So basically the outcome would be, just don't watch it. The process would be basically avoiding it, avoiding triggers, avoiding stimuli. So not going on certain sites, not thinking certain thoughts, things like that there. And then the other level, the third level, would be changing your identity itself. So if you think about it, there are three levels to this, 3 levels of changing a habit. There is the outermost level, which is changing the actual outcome, which would be just stopping the thing that you're doing. The middle level, or level 2, would be actually changing the process about how you do it, i.e. making it harder to access, harder to indulge in. And then the other level, or the deepest level, the innermost level, or level 1, would be actually changing yourself, changing your own identity. And this seems to be akin to building your house on rock, whereas changing the outcome directly is like building your house on the sand. But changing the outcome is like starting on the outside and working in. But it seems to be a lot more effective in the long run by starting on the inside and working out. So by changing your identity, an example could be, say you're a smoker, instead of saying, I don't want to smoke anymore, you change your identity to that of, I am not a smoker, or I am a person who does not smoke. And then if you're a person who does not smoke, therefore, by extension, you will not buy cigarettes, which would be the process, and then further again, by extension, you would not smoke. So hopefully that made some sense. And if you use that thought process of changing your identity, which will ultimately change the process, which will ultimately change the outcome, if you follow that process, that theoretically and practically should help you change any habit that you want to change. And then once that habit is gone, all you need to do is replace it with a good one. And then to stick with that good habit, you have to take the identity off that habit. So say you wanted to give up smoking and then go to the gym and become fit. Your identity to quit the smoking would be, I am not a smoker, therefore you don't buy cigarettes, therefore you don't smoke. And then if you wanted to become someone who was fit in the gym, you wouldn't just start going to the gym, because you need to, again, change your identity to that which aligns with the outcome that you want. So what I would recommend is, and I'm paraphrasing James Clear in his book, from his book Atomic Habits, you're not going to the gym to lift weights, you're going to the gym to be an athlete, because you are an athlete. So you change your identity, you think, okay, I'm an athlete, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to do bench press, and my outcome is going to be having the body that I want. So it all revolves around changing your identity, and with that you're setting your foundation for success. The process will follow, the outcome will follow the process. So hopefully that was of some help for you today, and you gleaned some degree of value. If you have any questions, as always, please post away in the comment section. I'll do my best to reply. And as always, all the best and take care. Thanks again.